Today we have the 2025 Honda Odyssey, and it is refreshed, and these minivans really have a lot going for them. Minivans are often overlooked for other crossovers that are seriously much less practical, but today we're going to take a look at the exterior details, the interior details, and get it out on the road for a test drive. Let's get started. All right, y'all, let's take a closer look at the details of this refreshed Honda Odyssey. So with the trim levels, we have the top-end Elite model, but then the base is the EXL, Sport L, and the Touring model, then this Elite. The EXL is honestly quite a good value in all Honda trims, especially considering it is now the base model for this Odyssey. But right up front, we've got a revised front end. Honda continues to make little changes here, and we've got small changes up front with the looks of this Odyssey. We also get LED headlights as standard, LED daytime running light, even LED fog lights are standard on here. And there's also grille shutters in there, so it will automatically close to help aerodynamics and efficiency. And not much to say as far as exterior goes. It looks like a minivan, and I think it looks fine for a minivan, but what do you guys think of that? The paint on this one is called Smoke Blue Pearl. This is a new paint along with this solar silver type of color as well. And it's going to come with 19-inch wheels, which are also revised on this Elite model. It's going to vary with wheel size, I think 18 to 19 on this minivan depending on the trim, but this blue color looks nice to me. I'm not a real big fan of the swoop, the drop down right there. It does kind of break up the long pattern for minivans. But what do you guys think of the overall looks of this Odyssey? Now, the mirrors are going to be a little bit different too, depending on the trim. We've got turn signals in here, but then the Elite model gives us automatic dimming as well as power folding. And one nice thing is that the door handles are going to be color keyed on every trim, so you don't have the cheap looking black ones. You don't have the chrome ones or anything. You just got color keyed on every single trim. Dimensionally, the Odyssey is 205 inches, so it is getting bigger. I feel like vans used to be hanging out right around 200 or less. Now we're at 205. And it's a good sized van. You can definitely tell with that. One thing that surprises me is that on this one, we don't actually have the crossbars or the roof rack to be able to put crossbars up there. It's a little bit surprising to me, something to keep in mind. Now, the turn signal is red instead of amber, and it's not LED, I don't believe. But we do have LED integrated light bars back here and the Elite badging. What do y'all think? And there's no spare tire in the back. There is a spare tire under the second row seats though. So there is a spare tire as standard equipment. Now when we get to the cargo area, this is where things get really exciting for me in terms of looking at these minivans. So you've got a ton of third row space, and when we compare all the other minivans, they vary a little bit depending on the third row space. They're all very similar, but things get a little differently as we start to fold the seats down in terms of space. But the Elite model is the only Odyssey with a hands-free option. So we've got the hands-free tailgate only on this one, but it is still a power tailgate on the rest of them, on the rest of the trims. You can also use the handle. You can adjust the height and then push that button to set how wide it opens and how tall it opens. I'll put the specs in terms of cargo space down below, but look how deep this well is. This is where the magic happens in these minivans. You know, crossovers, you're gonna have a floor probably even higher than this, where you just have like this much space behind the third row. You've got a very deep well behind the third row, so you can have all 8 seats with people and still stack suitcases on top of suitcases back here. Plus, check it out. We've got a 12-volt power outlet, an extra storage bin right there. This is for a cargo net, and then you have grocery bag hooks on the back of the seat. So you've got 4 spots to hook up grocery bags, extra storage here, extra storage right here as well. And folding these seats is a breeze. So check this out. I'm gonna pull this. These are the magic seats. I was not very aggressive with that, but look at that. Folds down nice and easy. And then space significantly increases once you have those down. It almost runs downhill a little bit. So it is like pretty much seamless and smooth, but it is a downhill, not a level kind of descent, or it's not like straight in, but lots and lots of space, as you can see. And getting these seats up, just grab the handle, clink it into place, pull back on this string, boom, check it out. They call these the magic seat. We also have the magic slide, which I'll show you up there. Now to fold these seats down, first of all, you can remove these seats. You've got a section, you can remove it, tilt it up, pull it out. The middle one, I'll also show you that as well. So you can get these out of here, or if you just want to quickly fold them flat, you can pull that lever, and then you've got more space, as you can see. So you don't have to completely take them out to be able to fold them and still have decent space. And it's an extremely cavernous interior. Look at that. Now the key fob for this Honda, we get the smart key system as standard. You can see you can open up the doors, you can open up the lift back, you even get remote start as standard, which I think is really nice. Obviously, it is wasteful to let a vehicle run, but when it's 100 degrees out and at 150 plus in your vehicle, it's nice to be able to warm it or cool it off for your people, or if it's freezing outside, your kiddies ain't gonna have to get into a frozen vehicle, which is nice. Smart key system, the way that this works is we've got this button actually to lock it. We have a sensor in the back to unlock it. And one nice thing is that if you close the door, you don't have, you don't push the lock button, you got your hands full, close the door, walk away, and the vehicle can automatically lock for you if it knows the key is leaving the vehicle. So you can turn that feature off or on, but I honestly really like it. Kind of a hands-free locking, which is quite nice. Now, leather seats are standard. Honda's EXL trim is the base model, and that's where we get leather seats. So all of them get leather seats. This two-tone looks nice here with this Elite trim level, but overall, it's just a very nice vehicle seat in general. And we've got 12-way power adjustment, your regular height and tilt, and 4-way lumbar is also standard. Plus, memory settings are also standard on the driver's side. So you've got a lot of standard features with these seats. They're also going to be heated as standard. We've got a leather wrap steering wheel here. This also feels quite nice. Honda's leather on here is just, feels very comfortable. It's a heated steering wheel on the Elite model. And then you're going to find the heated and ventilated seat controls there. Ventilated seats are on the Elite model as well. Only the Elite model. One other thing that I like is, I might be in the minority here, but I like these individual armrests instead of just a big center console. I mean, you still have a big center console, but you've got your own ratcheting armrest. I wish that maybe it was a little bit bigger, but then it would kind of impede your ability to get in here. But still, I like these armrests. I think they're comfortable. Steering wheel's comfortable. It is a manual adjustable steering wheel. Even though you're on the Elite trim, it's not full-on luxury power adjustable, but I think this is more practical. Now it is second row time, my favorite. So unlike the Sienna that I had recently, which had a hands-free opening second row, the Odyssey does not have that, but every trim level gives you power doors. And to me, that's enough. You don't need the kick sensor. You don't even need power doors. It's just nice to have. Then the open and close button is over here. You also have a good grab handle right there. And all the controls on these seats, I'm gonna show you what we can do with that. So this one, you can see with the arrow view, this will release the seat essentially. So you pull that, it's gonna pop up, and then you can pull the seat out. This one you saw earlier, pull it, seat's gonna fold all the way down. And then this one slides it to be able to get into the third row. But there's a lot more that we can do here, especially with this handle down here, which I will show you in a little bit. Now, if I'm gonna sit behind myself, another 5'9" person, I've got good knee space right here. So good foot space, good knee space. And one thing to note is that upper trims give us this upper pocket right here. So you can buy things that go on the back of your seat to organize toys or items for traveling and for kids. You've got regular mat pockets, but we also have that upper pocket, which I think is kind of nice just to have that built in. Cup holders right there. There's also a couple of USB ports down below right there as well. And then in the middle, this is interesting. So this is technically an 8-passenger setup. We have it as a 7-passenger right now, but when you have this folded down, you've got a nice padded armrest. You've got 3 bottle holders, little storage area right there. And let me fold this thing back up. All right, and boom, check it out. You've got a middle seat. It is kind of small, but I think it's big enough for a lot of people and children to be able to fit okay. But there's something else cool about this middle seat that we can do. Hold on. Climate controls are up there just on that side, so only one passenger can really get to it. You can control it from up there, but this passenger can also control it from there as well. The camera for the cabin watch system, which you'll see, is right here, but let me show you. So we can recline these seats. So you can make these seats ultra comfortable if you want to. We can scoot them forward and backwards. I got them all the way back where I was, where you saw my leg space. So keep that in mind as we get into the third row. All right, y'all, check this out. So this seat, like I showed you, can fold down. You pull this, it can fold down just like that. And then we've got a little strap on the bottom. You can pull, and then you can literally take this entire seat out. It's pretty lightweight. You can put it wherever you want. Then, once you have it out, boom, check that out. You can move these seats side to side. So this is very nice. Hold on. I honestly really love this feature. You can have 2 car seats securely fastened right there with those 2 big seats and still have good access to the third row. You can still have 3 across in here with that middle seat, but it is kind of nice to be able to move this pretty much wherever you want. You can have the kids all the way wide apart, have a big opening in the middle. You can put that seat back in there for a, center armrest. And this is for both these second row seats. So it's not just this side. That side can move too. So you can move them both this way, that way. Easy access to the third row. I really do like that as a feature. And that's not all that heavy to lift up. Now, time for the third row. A couple things I failed to mention. This big ol' 12.8-inch screen, that's what we got the HDMI port for. You've got headphones for it. Massive HD screen. Plus, we've got the sunshades. Sunshades are on every trim. You can pull those up on the second row for every trim. Third row even has them as well, but that's just for the top 2 touring and elite models. And same thing with this big display, just the touring and elite. But to get into the third row, the hardest way probably is to do this. If you don't have the center seat, you can go that way. If you have the seats slid over, you can do that way. Now, this is with the seat all the way back. I had good space with that, that space right there. And I can sit behind myself comfortably. I had, I think, 7 people in here in this vehicle, just not in the middle, I believe, and everyone was comfortable. I mean, there really is good space in this van. And if you have this kicked out or this seat over, this person can have quite a bit of leg room depending on where that's at. So even this seat can move forward. We still got good space. We've got a USB port, even a headphone jack, plus a volume control. Over there you've got a couple more USB ports. You've got third row AC vents. We've got second row AC vents. As you can see there, they are pillar mounted. So you've got AC vents for every row. Good space, sunshades, cup holders on both sides. I mean, it's a really nice setup. This is ideal for hauling people around, and there's still plenty of space overhead. So excellent family mover. Now, as we take a look at the interior, it is a practical minded and focused interior. We've got push button start right here. You can even see a little bit of the ambient lighting that runs underneath of there, which is quite nice. Now over on the door, we've got nice soft material here. If you like to have your arm up high, it's actually a fairly wide armrest, which is good too. Big padding here. This is also nice and wide. Good grab handle. These windows are also all automatic one touch. And then I love Honda's secondary shelf here. You've got a little storage area. Stuff can scratch around, so it's not like a grippy material, but you can put a bottle there, small mug. You've got a little bit of space down here as well. So you've got 2 sections to be able to stash some stuff, because we all know that's important when you got kiddos. And most likely if you're driving a minivan, you've got something like that you need to stash. Over here is where you open up the rear, where you open up the doors. I don't really like the the open close I just wish it was just a button, because it's going to be opening or closing depending on its current status. But parking brake here, and then the brake hold button is down there. I wish this was more accessible, but I like using the brake hold, so I turn that on pretty regularly. Parking sensors, and then your traction control. Steering wheel controls are easy to operate. They look very familiar to typical Honda, and we've got a 7-inch display as standard over here. So that side is just a physical speedometer, but the display, the digital display, goes right here. So the middle and to the left is where you're going to find the digital aspect. So most of it's just going to be in this little ring over here. You can scroll through different information, as you can see on there. I put a good amount of miles on here, and I've averaged about 23.7 miles per gallon. And you've got a bunch of different pieces of information that you can even scroll through on this. You can see there. So, you know, I still prefer some other gauges setups sometimes, but this still gives you the information that most of the time you're going to be looking for anyways. So no head-up display, but we've got a 9-inch display over here. It's a little bit tilted up and away. I haven't had any glare issues. On this 9-inch infotainment, we've got wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. If we go to the Honda system, this is kind of cool the way that it works. So you can take and drag, like let's say I want to take CarPlay, I want to put it right there instead of navigation. It's kind of like a phone. So you can customize this bottom section, which is nice. Say that we're done. It does still feel a little bit outdated to some, but you've got Sirius XM. We've got Wi-Fi on here. We've got a 500 watt 11 speaker system on the Elite model, and a couple other cool things. We've got this cabin watch. Take a look at that. You can see all of your passengers right there, and you can even zoom. You want to check out what's going on with baby right there, those kids in the back. You can check on them. Pretty cool, huh? And you can even talk to them, essentially. So you've got this cabin talk system, which this and the cabin watch are both on just the Touring and the Elite models. You can talk to them through the speakers or the headphones. In the Touring model, you can only talk to them through the headphones, but it's going to relay your voice, so you don't have to turn around and yell at them, because, you know, sometimes that's what you have to do. But you've got a volume knob, seeking buttons. All your AC controls have physical buttons as well, which I really appreciate. Dual zone climate here, and then you've got a rear climate, so it is a 3-zone climate, and you can control all of that here. They can also control it in the back of the vehicle. Push button shifter. One thing that I'm surprised we don't have when we go into reverse is we don't have a 360 camera. That's probably the main thing that I'm surprised is missing here. But you've got 3 different views for the backup camera, straight down, wide, or standard, but no 360 camera. You know, this push button shifter, my wife is not too impressed with this. She just thinks it's weird, it feels weird, but I'm sure she'd get used to it. I don't mind it so much anymore, but it is weird not having a shifter. Ventilated seats, heated seats, auto stop start, snow button, economy mode. Same thing on the passenger side. Now down here we've got USB-A, USB-C. The upper trims are going to give us, all right, wrong way, this 115 volt plug right there. And we've got a 12 volt power outlet over there. We've got a great storage area down here as well. Good space to put a bag, put some of your other stuff, because you've got this center console, plus, check it out, underneath of here, we've got this sliding tray for even more storage. You can just pop that in and out whenever you need to. And ladies, check it out, you've got a bag, or a bag hook over here. Sling your purse on there if you want to. It's kind of up and out of the way. We've got wireless charging down here. The cup holders, not impressed. If you've got different size containers, they're just gonna be swimming around in there. Thankfully, this big old mug fits in there just fine. But look, it's just a fixed opening. There's nothing that accommodates different sizes. But the wireless charging is nice. It's actually a big area. And then right here, you can set stuff on here, or get this out the way. You can pull this back. We've got a couple more USB, or a USB and an HDMI port. in there. The HDMI is for the back, which I'll show you in a little bit. But it's a pretty big opening on the inside as well. And there's even a like lift up section right here, and your headphones are down there. So check this out. It's a good storage area if you ask me. I really like that. Plus we've got cup holders back here as well. And then overhead, we're gonna have auto dimming and garage controls as standard, which is nice. We've got just a basic moonroof overhead, no panoramic roof. If that's something you were looking for, you just kind of get the regular old small roof. But we've got this rear entertainment system right there, which might be part of that. And pull this out. Look how big this visor is. It takes up this whole window, so it doesn't slide, which is nice. You don't have to slide it. It's just massive. I mean, look at that. The glove box is lockable. I appreciate a locking glove box. You've got decent space on the inside with the soft opening as well. And materials is quite nice in here. You've got a nice kind of rubberized type of dash right there. You've got this good looking trim on here. Even down below, just looks and feels pretty nice overall. One more thing for the interior, if we take a look and check out our visibility. So I've got that third row headrest up. You can definitely bring that down. The other one is folded. With this second row seat up, I can't really see very well out that third section, but this second row window is huge. It's nice having these big windows for visibility. Plus, Honda gives us blind spot monitoring in here as well, which will show up over here. Now under the hood, Honda gives you just one option. It is a V6 across the board, no hybrid, no all-wheel drive. It's just V6 front-wheel drive. But I do like Honda's V6. They've been toting the V6 for a while. It gives us 280 horsepower, 262 pound-feet of torque. It's a 3.5 liter V6, and it comes with a 10-speed automatic transmission. I would like to see this available in all-wheel drive. That might be one reason that you would skip this and go for a crossover, but the Sienna that I was just in can be all-wheel drive. So it's not like all minivans can't be all-wheel drive. This Odyssey just can't be all-wheel drive. And in terms of efficiency, miles per gallon, 19 city, 28 highway, and 22 combined. Still not going to be as good as the hybrid counterparts, but not bad for a decently powerful V6 with 8 seats as well. In towing, up to 3,500 pounds. Not bad either. You can tow some boats, some small trailers, different things like that. All right, Honda Odyssey test drive. All right, y'all, we are now behind the wheel of this Honda Odyssey. And the thing I would say stands out to me the most about the Odyssey is that it feels very refined and smooth for a driving experience. We drive a 2015 Toyota Sienna. This has a little bit better ride. And I was just in the recent Sienna, which I think feels very similar to this in terms of ride comfort. But the smoothness and refinedness of the naturally aspirated V6 engine is very, very good in here. Toyota's hybrid system is very refined as well, but you're not going to have the same driving dynamics and experience with acceleration with that. You're just going to be more efficient. So depends on what your priority is with this V6 or a hybrid and the other minivan offerings as well. But with this test drive, ergonomically on the inside, controls are easy to reach and see right there. You've got a good amount of information that you can have seen up here as well. I wish the brake hold button was not down there at the bottom. I wish it was just right next to this auto stop start button. Drive modes, you just have your normal. You've got the D for drive, obviously, and then S is the sequential mode, or basically like a sport mode. You can control the paddles for paddle shifting as well, and economy mode right there. Economy mode in Honda definitely does dull things out. Makes the throttle a little more laggy and not so responsive. But everything from starting to stopping to accelerating is very smooth and so refined with this engine and this 10-speed. This 10-speed has been just absolute butter. And I try to pay attention to transmissions to see if they feel jerky, clunky, skippy, anything like that. And this is just, it just completely stays absent and out of the way to where it's hardly noticeable in any situation. And I've gotten good efficiency with this over mixed driving, better than the 22 rating. I think I've been averaging just under 24 without trying or paying attention. So I will definitely take that. I wish it was all-wheel drive available, but it's just front-wheel drive. You can do pretty well with front-wheel drive only vehicles, especially with the right tires in slippery situations. But we will see what the acceleration is like. Honda's VTEC V6 shouldn't be a problem. Pedal down. Yep, that sounds and feels like Honda. And it gets going pretty quickly. Definitely good enough. You know, when you're hauling people around, you're going to want a good amount of power. And you've got it in this Honda. When I had about, I think it was 7 people in here, I barely noticed them. And that's exactly what you want. When you're accelerating with a family, you go to pass somebody, that's how you want it. You can obviously put it in, so we'll push the S button. RPM's kicked up. So sometimes people have said nothing happens when you do that, but they skipped about 1,000 RPM. So partial pedal, look, it was revving out to almost 6,000 right there. It's holding 4,000 RPM. So if you need to get on it, you're in a hurry, just push that button. Go from D to S, and you'll be good. Ride comfort is quite good. Handling is also good. Honda's vehicles almost always have nice tight handling relative to other vehicles in the class. And I think the Odyssey is still similar. It's not quite as tight as like a Civic per se, obviously. But you're gonna feel a little bit of body lean in here. But overall, driving this van is a very confidence-inspiring type of drive for a minivan. Some of the older minivans, you can definitely feel it wallow and move as you drive, but Honda feels well planted. It's got good acceleration, it's got great ride comfort, and on top of that, we've got Honda sensing. So we've got the radar-based cruise control, we've got lane centering technology, the automatic braking, we have blind spot monitoring in here, we've got the automatic high beams at night. There's so much that comes in these vehicles. And all of them come with an acoustic windshield, but this trim's going to give us acoustic side glass and acoustic second row glass. And this has been a very quiet vehicle. This is a rough textured surface, and there's some noise that gets in here. Road noise is one thing that can come in, but it's still a very quiet vehicle, and wind noise is definitely suppressed. And this Honda Odyssey is a very, very well-rounded minivan that offers a lot. Honda kind of holds out a little bit on some of those features. No 360 camera. The ventilated seats are only on this top Elite model, but the base model EXL still gives you a lot of overall features. But let's go ahead and wrap things up. So to wrap things up on this Honda Odyssey, as far as the Odyssey specifically goes, this Elite model is certainly quite nice. It's got a lot of nice features. But for most families, you could go with the base EXL and still have plenty of creature comforts. You just don't get the big screen, you don't get the ventilated seats, a couple other things that really aren't as important, but you can certainly be bougie and go for this Elite model. Compared to the other minivans, I was just recently in the Sienna, and not long before that, the Pacifica plug-in hybrid. Both of those are more efficient. Space is very similar. They just kind of have different features, to where this has the magic slide seats that can move side to side in the second row. Toyota's got the long slide feature where they have a big distance to go front to back. And with the Pacifica, if you don't have the plug-in hybrid, you've got the stow and go seats. The Kia Carnival also has some unique features and very similar in terms of space. So all of these minivans I think are quite awesome. As far as their practicality, you're just gonna have to get in one and check it out for yourself. I'm not here to tell you, but I think they're all pretty great and very practical. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Thank you so much for watching.